Hello and welcome everyone to the fourth and penultimate week of the Smite OPL split number 3. An important matchup here first. We've got Team Noxide, recently acquired Red Rocket, up against Team DarkSided. I'm Husey. Joining me for this cast is Smacker Moose. Moose, as I just said, a pretty key matchup for this one. Potentially a spot at the regional finals decided in this very match.
Yeah, if DarkSided take the 2-0, they lock in their spot for packs, and it's going to be an important split, and depending on how things go in this set, could affect the rest of the games today and whether other people will be able to make it to LAN. As we head straight into the picks and bans, Camazot's immediately taken off the board here for Noxide.
They just do not want to deal with Liquid Renegade on that one. He's had a couple of great performances this split with that Camazots. Talk about Team Noxide, formerly known as Red Rocket. If they get the 2-0 today, they have a very, very strong chance of making it to packs. I don't think they're 100% locked in though. Bans coming out from DarkSide, we've got Terra, and we can see Scardy taken away there by Noxide.
Yeah, Scardy, an interesting ban there, not wanting to see that on the side of DarkSided, and they're going to immediately lock in the Cronus. We've seen the contention here over the magical ADCs in OCE, been really hotly contested picks, and Cronus seems to be the strongest of the lot. So looks like the fourth ban was Artio there as well. Yep. So the bear taken away. No one wants to deal against the bear at the moment.
Especially with the amount of damage and crowd control she can bring in, it's just absolutely insane. With Kronos as well, we saw that really rise to prominence via Limits at the Split 2 LAN, where he dominated his lane against a very aggressive dual lane of Mingyu and Richard Castle. And since then, Cronus has been kind of the hot ticket item in OCE, as well as the kind of love he's received in patches. Erlingshen and Kukulkan locked in here from DarkSide. It's a double warrior comp straight up from these guys. Really suits kind of their playstyle. I imagine it's going to be a Kukulkan solo and Erlingshen jungle, just knowing kind of what Liquid Renegade likes to do. But honestly, it could really be both. Over on Noxide now, we see Osiris and Medusa locked in, and Sobek, the final pick before the next ban phase from DarkSided. So Moose, talk to me a little bit about Osiris in the solo lane going up against either Erlingshen or Kukulkan.
I mean, Osiris always has a decent matchup in the solo lane, but I feel like he's kind of dropped off with the nerfs to death toll, that kind of thing, with the cleave attacks. Doesn't have as much free sustain as he used to, and now that teleport's kind of out of the meta, then he's just going to struggle a bit more, I feel. Even though he can bully people out, if he's going up against a double warrior, unless he has a second warrior to kind of help support him out on that side lane, give him some pressure on the side of the map, he could have a rough time, and Osiris behind is just awful.
Taking a look at the next set of bans, we can see Honbats and Fafnir taken away by DarkSided. On the side of Noxide, it's Hui and Thoth, so targeting out the Hunter and Mage position is Noxide. But looking at this Honbats ban, really key target ban here from Noxide onto the jungler by DarkSide, I should say, onto Noxide's jungler Strive, who's had some fantastic games with this Honbats and going to force him to play something that he might not be as comfortable with, or at least something he doesn't have as much of an impact with.
Yeah, I'm surprised after their success with the Hunbats and Morrigan pickup that they didn't pick up either of those in the first drafting phase. So, looks like, I mean, Noxide have played a lot of different team comps, but that looked to be the strongest to me. And now this is getting a bit more interesting. We've got an Athena Nox here combination. Athena Medusa, always really nice. But now you got a Kronos and a Nox and a Medusa.
And then a Medusa
damage. So, who's going where?
Yeah, someone's going in an off-roll position. Someone is going. Goodness, so yeah, we have Medusa mid, Cronus ADC. Where does Nox go? This is going to be. We'll find out when we get in there. I suspect it could be a Nox support, always talked about, but yet to be pulled out. On the side of DarkSide, we've got Kernanos and Soul locked in here. Two auto attack based gods, really suiting the playstyles of both their respective players, Yada and Agony. Both really like those kind of auto attack based gods, whether it be in the Hunter or the mid role, both of which they've played. Agony now currently filling out the ADC position. So as we go and head towards and get into the game, onto the battleground of the gods, we can see this is going to be the Nox support from Destiny.
I'm a little sad that it's not my patented Nox jungle, but I know as long as I get to see a Nox in the game, I'm pretty happy. So.
The region's not ready for it yet, Moose. The region's not ready. One day. Yeah. We're saving that strat for Worlds. Everyone, we're just saving it. Catch all the other regions off guard.
Yeah, they'll never see it coming. Although we've kind of spoiled it now, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, you spoiled it at first. I had to like make it make sense. But I mean, I guess maybe then we just don't do Nox jungle at Worlds, and then everyone bans it out, and it's a wasted ban, and we've gotten in their heads. Yeah. Never let anyone say we don't do service to our region. Over on the right-hand side, AbsPro getting his wave proxied right here at the start of the game by this double warrior composition. It is going to be the Kakolan jungle and the Erlang Shen in the solo lane. AbsPro doing what he can there, but just completely allowing that. I mean, we're not really allowing that wave to get taken away from him, but he's going to lose a lot of these creeps now to the tower with nothing really to stop them, and he's going to lose his blue buff as well. Countering that though, Endless and Strive managed to get some push down in the mid lane, as you'd expect out of Medusa and Athena combination, so they're going to go ahead and take away the speed buff from the side of DarkSided.
But I think taking away a lot of this experience from the Osiris is exactly what they needed to do, and while Athena brings decent clear level 1, it's not amazing, so it's going to be a bit rough for this Osiris, and as I mentioned, the picks and ban phase, double warrior into an Osiris, I expect Liquid Renegade to kind of spend a fair bit of time over here and make sure that Osiris doesn't get any lead whatsoever and just keeps falling further and further behind.
Yeah, when Noxide have done well, it's been AbsPro that's really done a lot of work from the right-hand side of the map. And you've got to think as well, who's going to be having more of an impact early? Is it going to be this Athena, or is it going to be potentially the Osiris? And, you know, realistically, all throughout the game, the Osiris should probably have more of an impact than the Athena, unless the Athena is going to be acting more as a support than a jungle, considering you have a Nox over in the support role. But I really like the strategy there from DarkSided. Focus on the Osiris, and then the Athena kind of becomes meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, Athena, her ultimate is her power, right? Being able to get B anywhere on the map in an instant, just so strong, but if Osiris is forcing that to be used on him defensively, if Shank and Liquid Renegade can really pressure him out and force these early fights, hit level 5 and get an early pick, then, you know, that takes that whole global ultimate off the table, as AbsPro are already getting taken really low here by Shank.
He should be alright though, unless he tries to contest too much more. And it looks like Shank really wants to find the kill here. Not going to be able to get it just yet, but AbsPro, he's one pin away there from getting taken down for first blood. I like what Shank is doing though. He's putting a lot of this pressure onto AbsPro and forcing the minions under the tower and putting this Osiris further behind in terms of gold. If we take a look at the net worth, we can see that Shank's sitting pretty on about 2,300, while AbsPro lowest in the game on 2,100. So a 200 gold disparity at 2.5 minutes into the game for the solo lane. I'm sure any solo laner will tell you that is not a situation you want to have happen.
Yeah, not to mention, now Shank's level 5, AbsPro has to be even more cautious until he hits that mark. Won't have that safety of the Lord of the Afterlife to get himself out. Looks like Noxide kind of lost a bit of pressure all over the map now. All the lanes kind of being pushed fairly heavily and the jungle being taken by DarkSided here.
Well, let's take a look at this duo lane now, speaking of the pressure on that side of the map. And, you know, Kurtanos and Sorbet, we can see is a pretty deadly combination. Split pushes Pluck back in. There's a knock-up. Stun will catch out the Beast, and he'll be able to get away A-okay, but talk to me a little bit, Moose, about this Nox support. You know, as a professional Nox jungle player, as you claim to be, and what does it bring in the support role?
Well, Nox, one of the safest gods in the game, and that's why I enjoy her in the jungle role, is you can either use your dash aggressively or defensively, but in the support role, it's going to be all about peeling for this Chronos, making sure that the Chronos can't be locked down, can't be burst down, and really kind of disrupting that Sobek's ability to knock anyone up in these team fights. So Nox, she has the damage mitigation as well on her ultimate, which is kind of the lesser known stat with her, and that can really help out in these team fights. I mean, it's not going to be as strong as some of the other Guardians that you would run in that area, but it can work out really well, but it's just going to be all about peel, and instead of self-peel, it's going to be peeling for her teammates.
Is there the temptation, though, from Destiny to play her more as a mage and forget he's kind of in the support role? You know, there's obviously a lot of risks associated still with going Nox support, otherwise we'd see it every game.
Yeah, I suppose you can have that, you know, hybrid build on both the Athena and the Nox, and, you know, if a Nox hits the combination, doesn't matter how, you know, I mean, if you build all defensive items, it still does a fair bit of damage at base scaling, so, you know, if anyone gets locked down late game, it should be a death sentence regardless.
Alright, mid camps there we see are going to fall to the side of Noxide. DarkSided tried to get in there, but you can see the fear that this Nox is generating. As you mentioned, that silence, that big area effect silence is such a scary ability, particularly for something like a Sobek. Like, you can start dashing and get caught out halfway through. And so many of these characters, the Soul as well, although Soul does have the benefit of the disapparate. But still, we can definitely see the impact that Nox is having already. No kills yet as we head towards the 5-minute mark in this one, but we can see there's a little bit of a golden experience disparity in favor of DarkSided. And you know, that's kind of what I expected out of this matchup. DarkSide has been a team on the rise. Noxide's been this team that has split with every other team that they've played so far in the competition, which is impressive given they've played Legacy and Scylla Esports. But still, DarkSided have won some of their matchups. The Strive getting caught out a little bit on this right-hand side, but he will back away.
Yeah, Absro and Strive taking a bit of poke there from the duo combination there of Shank and Liquid Renegade, and now they're looking for Endless here in the mid lane, but he will play it safe, drop back off under his tower and be fine for now. The thing for me with this Nox is Destinate's actually leveling the two, which is great for clear, but lockdown potential and burst potential, the Shadow Lock is just so strong, and it'd be interesting to see whether he just continues to max out the Siphon Darkness or goes for that root option, because as he said, you know, Sobek can be silenced in that pluck, but he can also be rooted and kept in place, and it really can lock down the Sobek and turn into a pick comp against the Beast.
Well, what's the benefit of leveling that one, of leveling the root? I mean, the root duration is still the same. Is it just a purely damage thing?
It does a lot more damage, yeah. And it's a lot easier to hit than... I mean, if you're a competent Nox player, I guess I find it a lot easier to hit, and then you use the silence as a AoE. Just stop anyone else helping whoever you lock down.
Alright, looking at the kind of converse side of things here, with this Athena jungle, we've talked about it only briefly in passing. We've seen Athena jungle a fair amount along with other Guardians in the jungle, and it seems to be this kind of very... it's a massively hit or miss thing, I think. I think it's one of these picks that if you can make it work, it is exceptional and it is a problem for the other team. But if you do poorly with it, it can cost your team a lot. I'm seeing DarkSided here actually get very aggressive in the Noxide jungle, pushing Destinate and Strive, as well as Endless off their speed buff. Beast caught out here in that silence, taking about half his health worth of damage, but this is a Guardian they're targeting out, and Yard is going to pick up the first blood onto Endless. Look at Renegade. It's a massive two-man knockout. Destinate with a damage reduction ultimate, but it's all DarkSided in this fight. Magic Shell is popped. Two members dashing away there as Strive's inside Destinate, so other way around, but Liquid Renegade will pick up the Nox regardless, and now Liquid Renegade forcing away the rest of Noxiders as pros diving in to the Lord of the Afterlife.
Yeah, Liquid Renegade will get out for free here though, and now the Beast turns around and picks up Abspro, that safety of the Lord of the Afterlife down. Shank looking to chase down Split Push, but Will beads the pin, gets out, and it was just a massive ultimate there out of Yada. The Supernova just absolutely deleted Endless, and it completely swung that fight immediately in DarkSide's favor.
As well as that, the target prioritization from Noxide there, focusing a lot onto the Beast early in terms of that Nox combination. There's a double ultimate coming out of Noxide. They might catch out Liquid Renegade here, but he gets the Salmon Leap away, and now Shank body blocking for him excellently. The blue buff falls the way of DarkSided, and they get out completely for free there. So it's going to be a 3-0 in favor of DarkSide at the end of all of that fight. And Noxide, as I was saying, it really comes down to their kind of target calling at the start of that fight, dumping so much into the Beast and getting nothing out of it.
Yeah, and that's the danger of this Nox, right? It's an all-in pick, you know, support, I guess. You lock one character down, you don't lock the entire team down like you do with the Athena. And if you lock down the wrong target, well, the Beast, you know, probably not the tankiest at that point, only had the reinforced Greaves, but it's just... You know, it just swung the fight so heavily in DarkSide's favor that all that CC was thrown into the Guardian, and, you know, diminishing returns really coming off strong there, I guess, against Noxide.
Take a look at the graphs now after that fight. We can see it's now a heavy lead for DarkSided. 3,500 experience, the same in the gold department. Oracle Harpies were taken by Noxide, but there's a ward by DarkSide on that Gold Fury, so that is going to be the next major objective of this game, is looking at that Gold Fury from either team. We haven't really seen much out of Agony this game. He's been kind of quietly farming over in his lane, and all throughout that fight, he's been sitting here getting his experience of gold up, and now he finds himself 3 levels ahead of Split Push.
That is an insane lead, especially for the Kononos, who will be looking to exert a lot of this pressure now that he's got the Devourer's Gauntlets ready to start stacking those up as well. The lifesteal is going to come up huge in these fights, and I imagine he'll be going into a crit build, especially against this comp from Noxide with, you know, someone like a Kronos that you really need to burst down, and against the Athena who, you know, the taunt's great, but you're also taking auto attacks at the same time, so a less tanky Athena being crit heavily by this Kronos could mean the difference in a teamfight.
As well as that, the Nox doesn't have a lot of base protection in her character kit, so she's going to be basically utilizing a lot of items there, and I think that's really going to cost Noxide in the end. The Renegade getting rooted in place, taking a fair bit of damage there. You can see some of that Nox damage coming through. Still not enough to secure a kill just yet for Team Noxide.
And it's not the end of the world here for Noxide. It's a decent lead for DarkSided, but the issue is that DarkSided can just walk into the jungle. They've just stolen red buff again. They're going to look for a fight here. Shank looking to zone out Abspro from being able to get into to contest the speed and the blue buff here. So that's the difference between the teams at the moment. I think Noxide, they've gone for this kind of janky comp and trying to catch DarkSided off as they have with other teams in other weeks with things like the Morrigan, Honbut's cheese and that kind of thing. And it's just not working out so far. As Split Push taken very low here, the Wild Hunt used on him by Agony, and that'll force him back to base as well.
And no ultimate used by Split Push there either, so a great discipline call there from him. But now it means that Gold Fury can be started up by DarkSided with very little contest coming through from the side of Noxide. DarkSided just dashed forward there to try and get close to this objective. He's going to try and launch his ultimate, I think, but it's going to be too little too late. He will impact on the Liquid Renegade, but the Gold Fury does fall the way of DarkSided. Silence root combination used there, but Liquid Renegade uses his beads and knocks up Destinate. Destinate dashing forward again, trying to get away. And Liquid Renegade's going to back away here. Full minion wave coming in along with Agony. They could look to push this one down, but instead they're going to try and focus on these buffs.
Yeah, I guess that's the other side of the Nox pick, is that it forces, you know, characters like Kakolin to get beads. Combined with the Athena, you've got a lot of beads popping potential there, I guess, and it allows for more setups for picks, but Noxide haven't been putting themselves in a position to take advantage of that so far, and DarkSide are just kind of walking all over them.
The lead has been built up even more compared to the last time we checked in, and it's really not looking great for DarkSided. While they do have a little bit of a later game composition with the Nox and the Chronos, with a Soul and a Kernos, and the double warrior composition especially from DarkSided, if they can establish the lead up to about 5,000, 6,000, it's going to be insanely difficult for Noxide to be able to come back into this one, just because warriors from ahead are just terrible to deal with. They're absolute bullies, and when you've got two of them and two kind of really in-your-face bruisery type warriors like an Erlingshen, like a Kakolin, your carries are going to have next to no opportunity to do anything in the team fights.
Yeah, there's just so much disrupt, especially you combo that with the Sobek. The Beast takes a little bit of poke there from the Nox combo, but not really doing much. I like this pickup of the early Spirit Robe. The best way to counter a Nox is to pick up an early Spirit Robe, to be honest, on any frontlining character, because you just pretty much don't take any damage from her at that point. So Beast, recognizing the matchup and building accordingly, is look for the pluck here, gets Abspro in place, forces the Lord of Afterlife. Yeah,
a little bit of miscommunication there between him and Yada. Yada, I think, maybe just mistimed the Stellar Burst a little bit. They could have got some more damage out there, but in the end, it really doesn't matter. They were just trying to force the ultimate there. They know that's down now for Abspro, and that's huge because they can potentially pick him up. While he's combined for the highest level on his team, tied for the highest level on his team, he's still a pretty vulnerable target. The only defensive item he has is a Gladiator Shield, so he has no magical defense at this stage. You know, if you're going up against a Soul, that's a lot of damage that can potentially be done to you. Beast taking some damage here. Noxide need to be careful. Taunt in there from Strive. There's a sprint away coming here from Noxide. The Beast chasing him down with a Lurk in the Waters, but you know, nothing comes of that fight, as with the teams are looking for this Portal Demon.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Noxide should be looking to take those fights. I mean, they have the Nox, who, in theory, would be able to do more damage there as the three frontliners, I guess you can call it, with the Nox there, but you can see the difference in poke that Destinate took in return. The inherent tankiness just not there from a mage, so they need to be a little bit careful in those 3v3 fights. If Destinate gets picked there, it's just almost a free Portal Demon, at least the potential to lose their own buffs yet again.
And again, he's not very tanky either. All he's got thus far is a Breastplate of Valor. So I think that Team Noxide are really underestimating the amount of damage that Yada could do here early with this Soul, particularly given he's got a Bancroft's Talon online, and he's halfway towards an Obsidian Shard already. So a lot of penetration coming through as well, if there was any magical defense, but just going to be even more impactful in these fights. The Stellar Burst and the Supernova is going to be hitting extra hard on every member of Team Noxide.
Yeah, and then you've just got the base damage of a Sobek that's pretty much equal level with a lot of the carries on the side of Noxide, so they still need to be careful of that burst damage coming through, of a big Lurking in the Waters ultimate pops off on a couple of characters. It's enough to burst down people very, very quickly, and it's, you know, a surprising burst. You know that Sobek does damage, but the full combo just hurts so much.
Beast just missing his pluck there onto Split Push, but That's alright, he's just trying to zone him away as the rest of his team goes here. Well, there's Oracle Harpies. Split Push, though, still manages to split the Oracle Harpies and take one for the side of Team Noxide, so not a total loss there for the side of Noxide. So I'm looking at this Noxide composition. Actually, now I'm looking at Strive, who's caught in the middle of 3 DarkSided members. He will be able to dash away, but his Aegis was burnt in that little engagement there. But as I was saying, Moose, I'm looking at this Noxide team composition, and I'm just kind of thinking, where's the damage coming from? The Cronus isn't going to have like any damage at this stage of the game. It's going to be pretty difficult for Medusa. Actually, we're seeing Strive get a lot of damage down there onto Yado, who's forced to disapparate away. And a good route from Destiny prevents Beast from going forward and plucking anyone. So maybe this Athena is where the damage is coming from.
It's just so many penetration online. It's just, at the end of the day, I would have preferred to see the pen boots come out onto this Athena. Having the cooldown is nice, but if you're going to go straight into a breastplate, and she's already at full cooldown now, 40% with the Sands of Time as well, I'd like to see the early burst potential out of the Athena. What they look like they've drafted is a pick comp, and they're unable to get picks, so there's just a lack of damage there. As the Gold Fury is going to fall for free here for DarkSided, although not too free here. Noxide immediately go for this Portal Demon.
Yeah, so if they get the Portal Demon, it should balance out a little bit of what they lost, but they need to make sure they do it quickly and don't spend too long here, because DarkSide are steaming across the map straight to that Portal Demon, but they recognize it's been taken, so they're going to focus on the middle tower. So as well as getting a Gold Fury, they're going to get a pretty important map objective here. Destiny getting in the midst of everyone on DarkSide, because Strive's coming in with his ultimate. Great Aegis from Yada will save for most of the damage, but both Strive and Destiny are low. Endless gets an ultimate off, but it's 2 kills thus far for DarkSide as well as the middle tower, and now Endless in a bit of a rough spot here. Liquid Renegade blinks over the wall, but misses the drive back. Endless wants to use both of his relics here. Good stun here for Split Push, but no ultimate left from him. He's going to turn himself into a target as Agony, perfect rotation in, gets him with the Wild Hunt.
Yeah, just beautiful coordination there from DarkSide. Managed to pick up a lot of kills, and they might be able to pick up Endless here as well, who gets knocked up. The Shell enough to save his life, and now the Salmon will pick up Liquid Renegade in the end. Abspro, the only one left alive here, and great target prioritization and kind of poor map awareness to some degree from Noxide there. They were all split and got picked off very quickly trying to defend that tier 1. They lose a tier 2 and a bunch of members as a result.
It was a very split fight. They came in kind of drips and drabs there rather than as a single cohesive unit, which DarkSided, recognize they've got the advantage. That's how they've been moving around the map for the last 5 minutes or so, roaming in a pack and just looking to take fights where they can, because they know it's going to be virtually impossible for Noxide to win a fight at this stage of the game. The Nox, she's kind of in that middle stage at the moment where she's doing a little bit of damage and she's a little bit tanky, but she hasn't really gone, finished off her build yet into the appropriate steps. The Athena is a very similar way. Cronus, it's too early for him to be having, kind of a major impact. And then you've gone ahead and you put the Osiris behind your solo laner so you could deal with him. And Medusa, you just have to make sure you don't look at her ultimate and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, they have the Athena job to force you to look, but the thing for me, I think, is the lack of health items on the side of the Nox, the Athena, even the Osiris. They haven't got full health items online yet, and it's great to have these hybrid items like Breastplate of Valor and that kind of thing, but if you don't have any health, you just can't be that frontline presence, and you saw what happens, especially if you go in those dribs and drabs, as you said, that you're just going to get picked off one after the other because you're just not inherently tanky enough yet.
Athena ultimate channeled onto the wrong target there, I think, from Strive. He hit Abspro with it. I think he was looking to get across to maybe Destinate or even Split Push, but and it's an unfortunate ultimate used there from the side of Noxide. Gold Fury going to be respawning in about 2 minutes, which I think... I don't know, actually. Do you think DarkSide's next priority is going to be this Gold Fury, or do you think it's going to be the Portal Demon looking potentially for a Fire Giant, given that they've got a 10,000 experience and gold lead?
I wouldn't be surprised to see them bait either of them. Maybe even look for a tier 2 if they get a decent pick here. Another tier 2 off the board would be nice. And Abstra needs to be a little bit careful. The beast's kind of floating around the jungle, seeing if Shank's able to get any decent poke onto Abstra on that Osiris. And just needs not to be baited into these fights. As you said, DarkSide have been roaming as a pack, and Shank being there on his own is a bit suspicious to me, and they're already looking to bait this Fire Giant.
Yeah, they're looking to just try and get someone from Noxide to commit. Split pushes over on the left-hand side. He's going to get a tower out of this. If the rest of his team can prevent DarkSide from doing the Fire Giant here, that's a pretty good call from Noxide. Tier 1 tower falls down, and Split Push now looking for the Tier 2. Fire Giant under 50% HP here, but DarkSide aren't full committing to it. As Strive and Aspro around, they're looking to just try and turn on someone. but I don't think they're going to be able to. They might be able to catch Endless here. Sprint is popped from DarkSided. Liquid Renegade is going to blink over the wall. Good ultimate there from Endless, but it's going to cost him his life as the Wild Hunt comes out. Both relics used from Endless. He's got no tower to run back to, and Agony will pick him up. Tier 2 tower is going to fall to Split Push, but now Abs Pro and Destiny are in the middle of DarkSided. Great ultimate there from Shank to taunt 2 members in, but both of them look like they're going to be able to get away here. DarkSided diving to Phoenix, Destiny rooted in place and obliterated by Liquid Renegade and the rest of the DarkSided crew, and now they head back towards the Fire Giant after losing 2 towers but picking up 2 kills.
Yeah, Split Push doing what he does best in split pushing, but DarkSided just looks so cohesive this week, in complete contrast to Noxide, who generally are one of the better team fighting squads in the OPL. They picked up their split wins with a lot of the higher rated competition, purely from just fighting so well and trusting each other and the damage, and they just kind of look all over the place at the moment. They're going into fights 2 at a time or 3 at a time, and it's just not working out for them. And now it's DarkSided who get a Fire Giant. They have only 1 tower left on the map to take, and it's looking really, really dire here for Noxide. DarkSided really, really want to go to land by the look of things.
And you know, why wouldn't you? PAX Australia be an awesome time down in Melbourne at the Melbourne Convention Centre. I mean, did you go to 2015 PAX?
I did not. I was in America at the time.
You were in America at the time. Well, you know, that's almost as good. But yeah, it's definitely an experience to have. So if you're thinking about going, I recommend you go to PAX Australia. And that's what these teams are fighting for, is a chance to play on that massive stage, like we saw back in 2015. And in front of the massive crowd there at PAX Australia, and a chance to go to Worlds off the back of that as well. And now DarkSide is looking to try and make sure they punch their ticket to that event. They take the Gold Fury as well, find themselves still about 10,000 experience and gold in the lead, basically completely mitigating what Split Push got by taking down those 2 towers.
Yeah, now they should be able to take another tier 2 here on the left side of the map. No one here to defend from the side of Noxide. Not that they really can at this point, but Endless needs to not be split pushing this mid tier 1 and get back to help defend this Phoenix, because it's going to melt very, very quickly.
And he does manage to take it down relatively quickly, given he's got a Titan Spain online. But it might just be a case of, you know, how much of the team fight has already gone on by the time he manages to get back. Right, he's in here now. Strive, though, is taking about 50% of his health. Oh, Descent with the ultimate. I don't think he managed to hit anyone there with it, but Yard is taking a lot of damage. Oh, the Shadow lock nearly enough to lock Yard in place, but the Beast is the one that's caught by it. He will manage to dash away, and unfortunately for Noxide, unable to lock down a kill. Really, the story of this game, they managed to find someone out of position, but haven't had the damage, haven't had the coordination to finish the kill off.
Yeah, I think that comes down a lot to the itemization out of DarkSided. The Beast, recognizing that he's probably the likely target in these engagements out of Noxide, has just built anti-Nox basically, and it's working out for him very, very well so far. He got taken down to a quarter HP with the Fire Giant. He's not going to be too concerned about that at the moment. Shank's just split pushing, so this is a 4v5 siege here from DarkSided.
Yeah, that's Liquid Renegade split pushing, and he's going to be able to drive an entire minion wave down into a Phoenix. Inflink Strive gets a 2-man taunt. There's the silence coming out of Destiny. Beast taken very low, but Strive's going to be the one that falls. Destiny launches his ultimate in there as Yada's the one who picks up the kill. Great Wild Hunt out of Agony. He found all 3 members of Noxide there. All 3 members of Noxide that were remaining under the Phoenix, I should say. Split Push is headed over to the right-hand side to try and stop Liquid Renegade, but I don't know if that's a fight he wants to take. Left-hand side Phoenix has gone down here, down to the way of DarkSide. Now they're going to look towards the middle Phoenix here. Really awkward engagement for Noxide to try and fight back into this one. Shank taking a lot of damage here. Not enough for a kill. Will Noxide finally pick up a kill in this engagement? They will. Abs Pro claims the first kill for Noxide as they successfully defend the middle Phoenix.
Yeah, Shank finally falls. It is the first death on the side of DarkSided, but they take the Phoenix. A little bit overstayed and a little bit overconfident there from Shank, but they're not too concerned about losing the solo laner for now. They'll be able to get back, take these jungle buffs off the board yet again, group up, buy up the rest of their items, and really look to finish this game and look to the second game of this series. I don't see Noxide fighting their way back here, but you know, they're starting to get a bit of health items online. There's now a Stone of Binding on the Athena, a little bit late for my liking, but it just seems a bit off this week from Noxide. They don't seem themselves so far.
Well, I think it's a lot to do with this draft as well. You know, next game, hopefully go with a little bit more of a traditional draft. But I think as well, I think every team's kind of pinpointed Noxide's weakness, and that's to take Honbats away from Strive. And, you know, he performs fantastically on that god, and then has really been subpar on every game, not on the monkeys. So, you know, maybe that's just Noxide's kryptonite, takes Strive off of Humbats.
But if that's the case, then why not pick him up in the first draft phase? They had the opportunity to pick him up before the Athena was locked in. The Athena was locked in earlier than expected. And it's just, yeah, if Strive is so good on the monkey, why didn't Noxide prioritize that? That's my issue with their drafting base.
I completely agree with that as well, and I think they will maybe prioritize the Hornbites a little bit more at the start of the next draft. I think it's all about kind of getting through this game for them now and trying to make DarkSided pay for as much as they can. Look at Renegade again, blinking in. There's the ultimate coming out of Endless to try and save him. So Wild Hunt comes out just as his Aegis runs out, and Endless is going to fall very quickly to Liquid Renegade. Abs Pro and the rest of Noxide trying to defend this right-hand side Phoenix, but they're not going to be able to as Destiny falls down. Strive taunts in too, but it's too late to save the right-hand side Phoenix. Beast plucking back Abs Pro. They're taking so much damage from Yada and the rest of the crew on DarkSide, and he's going to fall down. It's only Strive and Split Push left to try and defend the Titan. Sprint is popped from DarkSided, and they are just going straight for the kill here. Titan already under 50% HP. Titan under 25% HP. It is down. DarkSided take game number 1. 13 kills to 1. Very convincing win for DarkSided.
Yeah, just a massive result there for DarkSided. 1 win away from going to PAX. And positioning. Can't stress it enough. That was just absolutely poor from Noxide at the end there. Got picked one after the other yet again, and it was kind of the story of the game. We'll see if they can pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get back in this for game 2.
We're going to take a short break here, folks, and as Moose mentioned, we'll be back very shortly for game number 2.